2025 marks the 80th anniversary of Thomas and Friends, which to me is crazy. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago when we were celebrating the 60th and all the big celebrations that happened that year. But here we are at 80, and I can't believe it, but we have two really cool items coming out that Playrail has made. It is February 1st at the time of this recording, so we are now officially a month into the year, and I love that we already have some brand new items, and these are some great items if I do say so myself. We'll start out with the one that I don't think's as exciting. It kind of reminds me of the 60th anniversary special they did with Thomas where he was supposed to blow steam. That was one of the few Tomy items I actually had, and that was okay, probably because I wasn't, my channel isn't about Tomy, so that's probably why I didn't get into it too much. But I see the similarities in that Thomas. The Herald here, that's definitely an interesting item to include. I do like how it says 80 on it. And the other stuff, it's just okay. Like, it is a lot of 80th celebration. I'll be honest, looking at it, it kind of looks cheap. Like that caboose, those colors just, they're very interesting. Putting those colors together make it look like it is a knockoff. It is cheap, but I just like the celebration aspect of this all, really celebrating the 80 years. I feel like over the years, even though Thomas has obviously had a lot of anniversaries, we don't get quite that many items like this. So it's cool to have something like, yeah, this might not be my favorite. Maybe if I was a user of Playrail, I would be very excited about something like this. But regardless, it is cool to have multiple items that Playrail is introducing to choose from for the 80th anniversary. Now the other item that is included here is just Thomas, Andy, and Clarabelle on paper, but it has their classic faces. I mean, that's just amazing. That is so amazing that they're doing it. It's something that's so easy to do. You're really just changing the faces of these three items. But man, it just adds so much to it. Like, this is the definitive item for the 80th anniversary, I think, of the two. And it's not even saying that the other one's terrible. I don't think that's a bad item. It's just like, what more than can you ask for an anniversary like the 80th anniversary to go back to the early years of Thomas and bring this face back to us along with the faces of Andy and Clarabelle? Like that, I am just in love with this item. I'd love to see Wooden Railway do something like this. I mean, we could get into a whole different topic about Wooden Railway, and we'll do that in a second. But as we talk about this item here, like, what more can you ask? And an anniversary like this, the 80th anniversary, to really go back to the early days, I think is really cool of Playrail. I think especially when Thomas is, changed so much in the last few years with All Engines Go, to have an item like this that really pays homage to the old Thomas, something we really don't get anymore with the All Engines Go line. I just love that Playrail decided to do this. So when it comes to Wooden Railway, I mean, this is pure speculation what I'm going to say, but I would hope and honestly kind of assume that they're going to do something, because the 80th anniversary, it is an anniversary, and whether big or small, Thomas has done stuff with their lines for anniversaries over the years, so I'm kind of expecting something. It could be something simple like this where they take the current Thomas and just slap this new face onto him. I would hope it's more than that. Like, honestly, you could take the Thomas, Andy, and Clarabelle, take that idea and turn it into a little set here. We really don't have any sets for this newest version of Thomas Wooden Railway, none that are big whatsoever. And I mean, I look back to the 60th anniversary, the set they did with Thomas and Henry. You could do something like that. You could really pay homage to that if you wanted to do that pretty much identical. You could even add Henry. You could add a new character if you wanted. I think that'd be really exciting. Maybe someone from All Engines Go. I think that's the way I would probably approach it. Use some old, like, if they were able to combine some of like early Thomas, and I think using like this Thomas face with Andy and Clarabelle, and then adding some new characters, I just think that would be a really cool way to pay homage to the original Thomas while also showing that, hey, Thomas is still running. This is what you get from today's Thomas. And especially with the Wooden Railway line, we did have some releases at the end of 2024, but they had been holding those out forever, so I don't know why it took so long. So we really haven't got much from this Wooden Railway line since the first two lines came out. I would love to take this 80th anniversary as an opportunity to do this. I think if I was in charge of celebrating the 80th anniversary for the Wooden Railway line, I definitely would release a set that includes Thomas, Andy, and Clarabelle, very similar to the style, maybe not these exact faces, but older faces of Thomas. I mean, even if you pick the original Wooden Railway faces they used for Thomas, I think that'd be really cool. Really pay back to over 30 years ago now when the Wooden Railway line first started. I do either of those options for a set. Make it about a medium-sized set from what we used to get in Wooden Railway, which at this point would be the biggest set they have, but I don't think that's really asking too much. And I think beyond that, I would release a pack of engines with their old faces to celebrate. Maybe even if you want to throw in like a gold Thomas to go back to 20 years ago when they did that for the 60th anniversary, I think that'd be cool. But if you did like it'd be hard to do a 7-pack with numbers 1 through 7, but if you did like Thomas, Percy, Toby, Diesel, maybe one other engine, I guess Rosie, because Rosie's released on the line, but these smaller ones with old faces, I guess you couldn't really do that with Rosie. So maybe they introduce someone new, maybe Duck. I think Duck's, whenever people say Duck, it just feels like wishful thinking to me, so I don't want to actually think that Duck would be here, but I don't know who else to include that's a smaller engine. But I think doing something like that with older faces, I think would be a really cool idea. I don't know how well these would sell. I mean, this Wooden Railway line obviously hasn't done the best because we haven't got much from it since the first 2 editions were released. But I think this is the 80th anniversary. Like, how do you not release something for Wooden Railway? I think Thomas would be missing out big if they did that. But I really can't give Playrail enough credit here. Like, they have created 2 fantastic items for Thomas and Friends' 80th anniversary. One dates back to the early years with a classic face for Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle, while the other one is celebrating the 80th anniversary. I just love these items so much that as a Wooden Railway collector, I might add one or both to my collection. And honestly, beyond that, I just hope that these can inspire the other lines and Mattel to create something exciting like this for Thomas's 80th anniversary. Because quite frankly, I haven't felt some great items that were released for an anniversary since the 60th. It's been so long, and I hope that Mattel and Thomas take the opportunity to release some great items this year for the anniversary. But tell me your thoughts on these 2 fantastic items in the comments section below, and subscribe for more videos. Thank you for watching.